Imagine a fragile peace teetering on the edge of chaos, where trust hangs by a thread in one of the world's most volatile regions. That's the stark reality unfolding in Gaza right now, as allegations of an impending attack threaten to shatter a hard-won ceasefire. But stick around, this isn't just another headline. It's a deep dive into the tensions that could redefine the conflict. And trust me, the twists and turns will keep you hooked. Let's unpack it all together, step by step, so even if you're new to the details, you'll feel like an insider by the end. The United States State Department has come forward with what it calls credible intelligence, claiming that Hamas is gearing up for an imminent assault targeting civilians within Gaza itself. This, they assert, would represent a blatant breach of the ceasefire pact currently in place, essentially stomping on the painstaking diplomatic strides made by mediators to bring some calm to the region. The official statement, issued last Saturday, didn't dive into specifics about the nature of this planned operation or reveal the sources of their information, leaving many wondering about the evidence behind the claims. To set the scene, the initial stage of the truce between Hamas and Israel is underway and progressing. All surviving hostages have been freed and returned home, while the remains of those who didn't make it are still being handed back to Israel, a process that's as emotionally charged as it is crucial for closure. As part of this deal, Israel released 250 Palestinians from its prisons, and from Gaza, 1,718 individuals detained there were set free. It's a tangible exchange that underscores the delicate balance of give and take in these negotiations, where every life released symbolizes a step toward reconciliation, yet reminds us of the deep-seated grievances on both sides. Washington hasn't kept this under wraps. They've looped in the other key players guaranteeing the Gaza peace accord, including Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, urging Hamas to honor their commitments. The statement from the State Department warns ominously, if Hamas goes ahead with any such attack, protective actions will be implemented to safeguard Gaza's civilians and uphold the truce's integrity. You can check out the full details in their official release if you're curious. Meanwhile, Hamas has remained silent on these accusations, which only adds to the mystery and fuels speculation. And this is the part most people miss. President Donald Trump has been vocal about this too, previously cautioning Hamas against harming civilians. In a recent post on Truth Social, he declared, "If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them." He quickly clarified that this wouldn't involve deploying American troops into Gaza, but his words highlight the high-stakes rhetoric that's become a hallmark of his approach to international crises. It's a reminder that even leaders far from the battlefield can influence the narrative, often with bold, controversial statements that polarize opinions. But here's where it gets controversial. Last week, the BBC's verification team authenticated disturbing videos depicting a public execution allegedly carried out by Hamas fighters in Gaza. The footage captures several armed men in masks, some sporting the green headbands linked to Hamas, aligning 8 bound individuals in a bustling square before carrying out the killings. While the BBC couldn't definitively identify the perpetrators, the images have sparked widespread outrage and debate about accountability in a conflict zone where lines between combatants and civilians blurred dangerously. Shifting gears slightly, on the same Saturday, Israel confirmed receiving 2 additional bodies from Gaza, which Hamas claims are those of hostages. Formal identification is still pending, but this brings the total number of deceased hostages remains returned so far to 10 out of 28. These moments are heartbreaking, illustrating the human cost of prolonged animosity and the slow, painful process of repatriation. In a separate tragic incident that same day, 11 members of a single Palestinian family lost their lives when an Israeli tank fired on what was described as a suspicious vehicle by the military. Hamas's civil defense ministry reported it as a direct hit on a bus, marking the most lethal single event involving Israeli forces in Gaza since the ceasefire kicked off. The Israeli side claims the vehicle crossed an unmarked yellow line. That designates areas still under their control, though there's no clear physical boundary, and details like exact coordinates remain elusive despite inquiries from outlets like the BBC. This raises big questions. Was it a misunderstanding, a tragic error, or something more intentional? In conflicts like this, such incidents often become flashpoints, amplifying calls for clearer rules of engagement. To provide some broader context for beginners diving into this story, the Israeli military operation in Gaza erupted in response to the brutal October 7, 2023 assault by Hamas-led militants, who killed around 1,200 people in southern Israel and abducted 251 others as hostages. Since then, according to Gaza's health ministry, whose numbers the UN deems trustworthy, at least 68,000 Palestinians have perished in Israeli strikes. And in September, a UN Commission of Inquiry leveled a shocking accusation that Israel's actions in Gaza constitute genocide against Palestinians. Israel vehemently disputes this, labeling the report as distorted and false. This is one of those points that divides the world. Do the UN's findings shine a light on undeniable atrocities, or are they politically motivated exaggerations? It's a debate that cuts to the heart of international law and moral responsibility. As we wrap this up, it's clear that the Gaza ceasefire is more than a pause in fighting. It's a test of wills, trust, and humanity amid swirling accusations and verified horrors. Do you think Hamas is truly poised for an attack, or could this be a misread escalation? Should Trump's warnings be seen as tough love or reckless saber-rattling? And on the bigger stage, does the UN's genocide label hold water, or is it unfairly one-sided? I'd love to hear your take. Agree, disagree, or share your own insights in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. After all, understanding these complexities is the first step toward meaningful change.